Welcome to The Explainer, where we cut through the noise and turn today's biggest headlines into a story that actually makes sense.
So, when it comes to the AI race, who's actually winning? You see all the headlines, the insane numbers, but behind all that, a massive war is being fought for our AI future. And today, we're going to connect the dots.
All right, let's dive in. We're going to start on the front line you see every day, the public war of words and numbers between the industry's absolute biggest players.
And wow, things got heated this week. OpenAI's chief revenue officer, Denise Dresser, fired this direct shot at their main rival, Anthropic, in a memo that got everywhere. The language is super sharp, right? But get this, the real weapon here isn't some new tech or a charismatic CEO, it's accounting.
Yeah, you heard that right. The whole attack wasn't about their tech, it was about their books. Specifically, this concept called revenue recognition. Now, I know, it sounds kind of dry, but stick with me, because this is exactly where the multi-billion-dollar narrative war is being fought. It really all boils down to one simple question. Do you count the whole pie or just your slice? And just look at what a difference that makes. This is the $8 billion question. A simple accounting choice completely flips the script on who's in the lead. See, OpenAI is claiming that if you adjust Anthropic's huge revenue numbers for this one little difference, poof, their lead just vanishes. And all of a sudden, OpenAI is right back on top. So here's how it works. OpenAI's argument is that Anthropic is inflating its numbers by reporting the gross amount from its cloud partners, AWS and Google Cloud. They're basically counting all the money that flows through their partners. OpenAI, on the other hand, says, nope, we only report the net amount we actually get from Microsoft. It seems subtle, but believe me, it is an absolutely crucial difference.
Oh, but the memo didn't just stop at the numbers, not even close. Dresser went on to paint this picture of Anthropic struggling with its whole strategy and, its reliability. She called their compute strategy a strategic misstep and threw out this warning that they're at risk of being a single product company in what's fast becoming a platform war. Ouch.
So what's the deal? Why is this all blowing up right now? Well, here's the crucial point. Both of these companies are reportedly looking to go public, to IPO, maybe as soon as 2026. So this whole public fight, it's a pre-IPO defensive move. It's all about shaping perception, because valuations are on the line. Every single $1 billion of revenue they report could mean tens of billions in market cap down the road.
But this whole battle for billions, this war of words, it's all built on something very, very physical. So let's peel back the next layer of this onion and see how this abstract financial fight is built on a very real foundation of pure silicon.
Okay, so behind all the hype, there's the hardware. I mean, at the end of the day, software has to run on something, right? And the race to build the next generation of that hardware, well, it is already well underway. This is where the real long-term bets are being made.
Just take a look at this number. We're talking 36 to 40 billion euros. This comes from the Dutch company ASML, and it is honestly one of the most important signals in the entire tech industry right now. They just raised their sales guidance for 2026. That's not just a small bump. That is a massive vote of confidence in where things are headed.
And the CEO of ASML, Christophe Fouquet, he couldn't have been more clear about it. He basically said chip demand is outpacing supply. Now, you have to understand, ASML is the only company in the entire world that makes the machines you need for the most advanced chips. So when their CEO says that, yeah, everyone in the industry stops and listens.
And this really shows you the long bet on AI in action. ASML just shipped its second next-gen machine, which is incredible. But look at this timeline. A machine they ship today won't actually be producing the chips that power our AI future until like 2027 or 2028. This isn't just planning for next quarter. This is a multi-year chess move.
Think about that for a second. These companies are pouring tens of billions of euros into this based on a future that hasn't even happened yet. This isn't a bet on today's AI demand. It's a massive all-in investment based on the belief that demand for AI chips is going to be unimaginably larger tomorrow.
But you know what? Even these incredible machines, these technological marvels, they're really just pawns in a much, much larger game. So let's zoom out one last time. Let's see how this hardware race fits into the giant global chessboard of geopolitics.
Welcome to the global supply chain game. This is the final front in the war for AI supremacy. And it's not being fought with code or even with giant machines. It's being fought with tariffs and treaties. This is where national interests and corporate strategies smash right into each other.
There's a saying, in Washington, silence is a negotiating position. And that one line from a recent Reuters report just perfectly captures this whole high-stakes game. See, a major report on semiconductor tariffs landed on the president's desk, and the official response so far has been, well, crickets, nothing. But that silence? That's the sound of some incredibly intense backroom deal-making.
So what are they negotiating about? Well, at the very heart of it is this little component called high bandwidth memory, or HBM. Just think of it like the super-fast memory that's the absolute lifeblood for today's AI systems. Without it, those powerful GPUs from companies like NVIDIA, they just can't perform at the crazy levels needed for cutting-edge AI. And here's the reciprocity deal that's apparently being hammered out in all that quiet. The problem is a potential 15% U.S. tariff on the whole HBM supply chain. So the proposed solution? The U.S. is using that threat of tariffs as leverage, right? They're trying to get the South Korean chip giants, Samsung and SK Hynix, to move a critical part of their HBM manufacturing, the packaging part, onto American soil. And in exchange, they get to avoid those really costly tariffs.
So why should you care about all this? Well, this protects the AI supply chain from huge cost spikes, and it reduces geopolitical risk by bringing manufacturing onshore. I mean, this quiet little negotiation could secure the entire AI supply chain for companies like NVIDIA and AMD from a 15% cost spike. At the same time, it would be a massive strategic win for manufacturing here in the US. Reducing how much we rely on overseas production, it's a policy masterstroke if they can pull it off.
Okay, wow, that was a lot. So let's connect the dots, let's pull it all together and see what this whole three-layered conflict really tells us about the future of AI.
So what we've seen today are the three fronts of the AI war. They're all totally interconnected. First, you've got the narrative front. That's the battle of accounting and perception for pre-IPO valuation. Then beneath that, you have the hardware front, that multi-billion-dollar, super long-term bet on future manufacturing. And holding it all up is the geopolitical front, that strategic game of leverage to control the absolute choke points of the supply chain. So the AI revolution isn't just about code, is it? It's a global battle for capital, for silicon, and for power. And the ultimate takeaway is this. Winning in AI is not just about having the smartest model. It's about mastering this incredibly complex, multi-front war. Which leaves us with the real question, who out there is actually playing the long game?